to this week's meditation. Thank you so much for showing up, for being present, for participating. It's uncomfortable. We have a lot of shifts happening. We have a lot of change happening. And one of the things that is coming up most for everybody is this discomfort. And so I had to talk about that this morning. Good morning, Erin. Oh, so wonderful to see you. I love the colors in the background. I know it's Pride Month, and there's a lot happening this year. And I'm going to do a whole other meditation and talk on this as well. But 2020, we kept talking about that being the year of clear vision, right? And this is what it looks like. This is what it means to see things clearly, is to see all of the ways that we have been doing it wrong. And if you've been doing the work for a while, the work, like the inner work that really contributes to meaningful change in your own personal life, and then also in, obviously, our cultural experience, then you know that discomfort needs to come first, and then change happens. Good morning, Sherry. Yep. Sorry for a moment there, Sherry. I thought I was saying it wrong this whole time, but no, Sherry. So yeah, let's speak to this discomfort and then what to do with it. And then I'm going to share a really powerful technique. It's very similar to loving kindness practice, but just a little bit faster. And this is something that's shared with me through the Heart Math Institute, and it's awesome. You can take it with you anywhere, and it will absolutely help you, and also help to boost your energy, which is also needed during times of change, during times of transition. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Tracy. So I shared a quote with this meditation. The key to moving forward is what we do with our discomfort. And this quote came from the book by Robin DiAngelo, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen circulating, right? White Fragility. And it's basically about why it's so difficult for white people to talk about issues of race. And so much of it comes down to just this immediate resistance, this shame that comes up when we face all of the ways that we've contributed to other people's suffering. Nobody wants to experience that. Nobody wants to recognize the ways that we've contributed to this system, the way that we benefited, essentially, the ways that our privilege has shown itself. And I'm no different. So please know that when I'm sharing about these things, it's not from a place of righteousness, because I am complicit. I have benefited a lot. And I was having this conversation with my children, who are 15 and 12. This is actually kind of emotional for me. And I was talking to them about privilege, and I asked my daughter if she knew how privileged she was, and she was like, "Oh no, I don't understand." And so I explained to her that she has a white, cis-identifying, heteronormative family, basically, and all of those things have contributed to her experience of privilege. And it made her really upset, to think that because of something that she couldn't control, that she was hurting other people. But it gave us a really beautiful way in, because that's the discomfort I'm talking about. These real conversations, these recognitions that we are contributing to something that is not okay, and that we actually have the power. And that's where we go next. Is I was chatting with her about this and saying, I know that this discomfort comes up, and sometimes it feels like shame. But it's okay to feel sad about these things. It's okay to recognize that maybe we can do things better. And that's the next step, right? You have to feel that discomfort first to even know that something needs to change. If you don't have that discomfort, and literally this is in any area of your life, right? Any time that you feel like, anytime that discomfort shows up, it's a sign that change needs to happen. Every single time. There is no exception here. If that's happening in a relationship, that doesn't necessarily mean the relationship has to end, but you have to bring in consciousness to see the way forward. What am I not saying? What am I not doing? How am I not being true to myself? And so this discomfort is essential. It's everything. It is so important. So rather than turning away from shame, turning away from discomfort, it's an invitation in. That is the way in, because what it does is it opens our heart. It opens us to new possibility. It kind of really, I'm imagining this like suit of armor and like these little holes, and somebody's like everything is kind of going into the like little cracks and crevices. But you can think of it however the visualization fits for you. But that's so necessary. We need to create some spaces so that the new information can come in, because honestly, I don't even know what I don't know. And to think that I do, and to speak from a place of knowing, is ignorant of me. So that's why this movement has been about listening and highlighting the voices of Black, Indigenous people of color. Like, it's just essential that, as a person of privilege, because of the color of my skin, because of my history, because of the way that I was raised, I'm going to have biases. It's not my place to stand up and to speak for other people. But what I can do is learn how to hold the discomfort, is learn how to receive new information, to receive the experience, and look at this discomfort in a new way, to not turn away from it, but rather to understand it as this starting point of change. And it's so powerful when you can make that shift. And obviously, I'm speaking about it in terms of the anti-racism movement, but genuinely, this applies to every area of your life. So if you want to be making a change in your work, you have to get uncomfortable first. If you want to make a change in relationships, if you want to make a change in your health, it's all about starting in that space of discomfort. So the meditation that we're going to be doing today is really simple. And I'm going to be focusing on these very simple tools for the next little while to help support everybody in holding this space of discomfort, so that we can learn, so that we can grow, so that we can change. And so Robin DiAngelo, the woman that I was speaking about, who shared that quote, "The key to moving forward is what we do with our discomfort," she shared two options. So we can either use it as a door out, so we can leave the conversation and then we can blame the messenger, right? That's one option. We can turn away from it and feel offended or shamed or just unwilling to participate. Or we can use it as a door in, and a door into self. And this is why meditation is so powerful, because we have the opportunity to explore why we feel unsettled, why there's shame, why there's discomfort, and hold space, hold the compassion that's necessary to really learn, to take that seat of the beginner's mind and to open up to new possibility. So let's move into a meditation together. So if you'd like to take your comfortable seat, your position, I guess it can be seated or laying down, whatever is comfortable for you. I really like to, especially when we're trying to gain energy and help energy to flow more freely, sitting up is really helpful. Helps to align your chakras. It helps to open up your energy centers and then your central channel that really flows through all of the energy centers. And if you joined me for meditation on Friday, you'll know how this begins, because we're going to start by placing our hands on our heart and then breathing. So breathing into your heart with a nice deep breath, breathing out of your heart, breathing into a deep count of 4 or 5, and then breathing out to the same count. Just keep repeating this. So keep with those long inhales and those long exhales into and out of your heart. And this is heart focused breathing. And if we keep up with this for a little while, which we're going to do, it will help to entrain our brain and our nervous system into this deep, relaxed rhythm. So if you've heard of the term coherence, that's what it means. So we help to calm the beats of the heart, the electromagnetic activity of the heart. And the heart is very intricately connected with the brain. And as we do this, we actually help to bring our brain, all of our neural networks, into a similar coherent pattern. And when we do this, we actually help to open up for learning. We open up new possibility. We also move into a space of calm, shifting out of fight or flight, so from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system. So keep up with that breath. And now I invite you to continue with this breath and bring in any thoughts or feelings or experiences of discomfort. Whatever it is that has been causing you to want to leave, causing you to want to turn away from. And this could be in relation to the anti-racism movement, or it could be in relation to something else that's going on in your life, something that feels uncomfortable, something that feels too much, overwhelming. So keep up with that deep breath in and out of your heart. Really hold the space for this discomfort. Trusting that the coherence that you are creating in your heart and your brain can hold this discomfort, and can help you to be with it, to turn within. And so I invite you to inquire into the discomfort. So continue the deep breath as you're doing so. And just ask yourself, why? Why am I feeling uncomfortable? Where is this discomfort coming from? And in this space of deep breathing, of heart focused breathing, we also hold the space of compassion. So, whatever is revealed to us is held in compassion. Is held in this space of acceptance, of willingness to see things as they are without judgment. So I can see so clearly that a lot of my discomfort is coming from fear of loss. So if I speak up, if I share truthfully, I'm afraid I'm going to lose things. I'm afraid I'm going to lose in my business customers, followers, money. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my comfort, my ability to hide, to stay in my safe little cocoon that feels so good sometimes. So just allow whatever is there for you to come up and remember to hold that with compassion. Keep breathing. Allow the discomfort to teach you, to show you truth. And ask the discomfort, where to now? What do I do next? And as you receive answers, this may bring up even further discomfort, further fears, further uncertainties. And if this happens, it's essential that you remain here, that you continue to hold space, trusting that the discomfort will ease as you hold space for it. So, this is a heart focused breathing technique that we've combined with self inquiry. And now, what we're going to do is a technique called heart lock in. And this is where we take this coherence that we've cultivated, this compassion that we have created, and we spread it throughout ourself. We spread it to all areas of our energetic and physical body. We allow our compassion to reach every cell, every part, every edge. You can feel this as a wave emanating out from your heart center, touching all areas of your body. Continue with that deep, coherent breath. And this is very similar to what we do in loving kindness meditation, where we offer ourselves compassion, where we fill up with this loving kindness, with this grace, with understanding, acceptance, love. This is very energizing. And if you haven't noticed, discomfort can feel very draining. I have definitely noticed that. And so this is a technique that will help you to re-energize so that you can continue to be with the discomfort, so that you can continue to grow. And then the next step of this heart lock-in technique is about sharing this compassion beyond yourself. So if you want to be focusing on the anti-racism movement, you can extend this compassion out. You can choose where you want to place this compassion. Perhaps it is with the suffering of so many for so long based on their skin color, based on their family of origin, based on where they were born, what time they grew up in. And even based on being present now and still suffering, still witnessing all of the ways that we are failing. You can also place your compassion with all of those who are learning, with all of those who are facing shame, guilt, discomfort. So spread out this compassion, spread out this coherence, this kindness, this grace beyond just yourself. And this is both energizing for self and also helps us to open to others, to see them as us. So keep up with that deep breath. And I invite you now to do a check-in. You can begin to soften into your breathing. It can still be long and deep, but just remove any pressure, any forcing. And just check in with your body mind. Where are you at? And notice that what you are doing here is building resilience. You are building your capacity for discomfort, for your ability to hold this discomfort that is so necessary for change. Offer yourself gratitude now. Offer yourself gratitude for showing up in practice, for being willing to be with this discomfort, willing to feel things so deeply. And offer gratitude to the community that you're practicing with right now. All of the people who are joining with you, you can feel their hearts also. Feel the kindness, the compassion that they have also cultivated, and know that you have contributed to this. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Om Mani Padme Hum. So when you feel ready, you can come back to the space that you are in. Start by feeling the edges of your body, feeling the clothing on your skin, hearing the sounds in your space. And then when you're ready, you can start to open your eyes. I had a puppy snoring right behind me, so it was really, really easy to come back to this space. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I invite you to draw on these resources, these tools that can absolutely support you as you're exploring change and really looking at, how you can show up differently. And as you learn something new, to hold this space of compassion for self, and then also to extend this beyond self to others. So So I offered you a few techniques. So that heart focused breathing is really great for centering. So if you're feeling out of balance, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's a really great way to recenter. And the heart is such a powerful place of alchemy. So it can actually take emotions that are like all over the place and creating discomfort and uncertainty and overwhelm, and really turn them into something different, something beautiful, into that change. When we inquired into that, into the experience that we were having, and we were breathing deeply into our heart, the discomfort alchemizes into inspired action. It alchemizes into deep understanding, willingness to see, and into being, more humble with those feelings. And so that's what it takes. It takes that beginner's mind, that willingness to be with, especially with the discomfort. And I just invite you to consider again, whenever you come up against something that feels uncomfortable, to recognize it not as something to turn away from, but rather as a sign that it's time to change, as a sign that something needs to shift. And so the more uncomfortable you're feeling right now, the more that something needs to change. Um, yeah, and be so gentle with yourself. The reason that we held space for compassion is change doesn't happen like that. It can happen really rapidly, but for change to be lasting, it really needs to be held, and it needs to be held in that space of compassion. So thank you so much for practicing with me, for practicing with the community, and for really being willing to show up and do this work. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for the strong of heart. And I'm so grateful that you're here and doing this work. So we'll close the meditation, the chat today. And please feel free to be posting in the group. I'll definitely open that up a lot more. We're still going to be featuring a lot more perspective from Black, Indigenous, people of color. But I also want to hear your questions. I want to hear where you're struggling so that we can help support each other, so that we can help hold this space of compassion and this space of discomfort so that we can learn how to change. And yeah, it's just a beautiful opportunity to be in community. Thank you so much for being here. Have such a beautiful day. Much love.